Hey everyone, this is Mark from AtlasFoamRoller.com and Stretch Therapy out of Dallas, Texas. And thanks for joining me for the podcast. And this one is devoted towards the low back pain that everybody's having. And I know you're having that low back pain and the ability to overcome that inability to reach and touch those toes because of the stiffness, the low back pain, the tension. And we're going to talk about, different ways to go about that. But first, we're going to talk about the FDA. Okay, so the FDA just recently, I just saw today, decided to approve a new drug. I guess it's called Disuvia. It's probably named something else, but anyway. So the drug is synthetic fentanyl. Isn't that crazy? Synthetic fentanyl. Now, what are we going to use that for? So essentially, the FDA came under fire for approving it, and they decided to go through it anyway because they were paid to do it and told to do it by the pharmaceutical companies, which is more powerful than the FDA. So they went and did it, approved it, and now it's available for prescription. And again, let me repeat that. It is synthetic fentanyl, which is much stronger than fentanyl. As we all know, fentanyl has been a problem in the news recently, but whatever, maybe it'll be good for everybody, right, to take more narcotics. And so that is what is happening. Is there's a lot of really bad decisions that the FDA is making along these lines. I mean, recently there was another article where they approved something called Aspire Assist for obesity problems. And if you don't know what Aspire Assist is, it's pretty much bulimia and in another way, right? So just go look up Aspire Assist and then tell me what you think. But, the article is, despite warnings, FDA approves potent new opioid painkiller. So this painkiller is called sufentanil. Kind of like fentanyl. So it's synthetic fentanyl. And it has a high risk for addiction and dependence. So fentanyl is not quite, I don't think it's quite as addictive as everybody's saying. Especially it's short acting. It's not long acting at all. And this one can also cause respiratory distress, failure, death at high doses. And it definitely, again, it's addictive. So why? I don't know. And a lot of people are buying these because they're having issues of low back pain, upper back pain, neck pain, body pain, just general musculoskeletal pain. And the doctors are just giving it to them. They're just giving it to them they go to the pain centers and they just hand it out like candy. They get the prescription approved, little signature. They take it for 30 days and they go back. They re-up, or they call us and the medics, and then we have to give it to them, or we don't give it to them. I mean, of course, if they have a true medical problem like that warrants it, we will. But they constantly, there is drug seekers, and a lot of them have just musculoskeletal complaints, and they're like, oh, my back hurts, my neck hurts from this old car accident, and I'm not quite sure, it's addiction, and that's a very complicated topic. I'm not trying to cover addiction necessarily, but this is not a solution to these problems. So a real solution is to discover where the problem's originating and whether or not you've done MRIs. Which a lot of these people say they've done MRIs and they've done CTs and they've gone through a physical therapy, but a lot of it has to do with the body's energy. And you have a diseased energy. So that means that your chi level or the body energy is really just mucked up and not able to really communicate with the upper, lower, mid part of the body. And so what foam rolling, deep stretching, meditation, all of that does, chiropractic, what it does is it really opens up the body, and then the body's able to communicate. The upper body is able to communicate with the mid part of the body, the lower part, and the feedback loop. It goes on and on and on, and you feel just a lot better, a lot springier, your muscles are then able to really heal. They're really able to get the maximum amount of oxygen, and they're able to really push out a lot of that, buildup that you've got from anything you've been eating, smoking, drinking, inhaling, just out into the air. You're able to. A lot of people who do this report less problems of allergens because their body's able to really circulate everything a lot better. So the body's natural immune system can really get in there and sweep through, all the little crevices that were typically locked up. And when you get locked up like a traffic jam, there's a lot of buildup, and then it causes this aggravated inflammation that really just hits different parts of maybe the low back, upper back, neck. There's just so many areas, okay? Now, so this is just one part of this whole idea of having a better internal body energy, or chi, and the answer isn't all these things like back surgery and neck surgery and knee and these drugs and all that. What you're really needing is, again, you're needing more flexibility. People are becoming less flexible these days. They're sitting around. They're not moving quite as much. They have bad posture while they're sitting at their desk or sitting at home eating, or even a common problem is bad posture while talking or texting or Facebooking on the phone. And so that's a common shared problem, is the looking down, texting, walking, or just standing there, just looking down, and poor shoulder, back posture. And it has really become a big problem for a lot of people. So that's why foam rolling, stretching is becoming a little bit more popular, but at the same time, it is becoming less tolerable because people are really still tightening up, and they're not understanding that these are things that you have to do now every single day to combat this problem of having poor posture every single day, all hours of the day. And I would say about 90% of the day, people have poor posture. So you're teaching your body to be in this abnormal postural, state, and it's locking everybody up. It's making them sicker, making you feel tired, sleepy, and it causes, again, you to get sicker easier. So viruses can really just thrive in that environment, and also cancer can as well. So you have these problems, and the solution, again, it can be used in combination with the Western medicine way. The thing is that nobody's doing the other way too. So they're not giving a really good effort to the alternative way because maybe they don't believe in it, or, I don't know. They're hypnotized into the Western medicine way. I'm not really sure. That's a very interesting question. So where is this origin, or where should you start? So that's the question. Where should you start? Where's that one spot, right? So if I'm going to give you one spot to start at, it's going to be the lower dantian. The lower dantian is going to be just below the navel area, okay? And you can then wrap it around the back. It's around the you would say the sacral area, okay? Not the lumbar. It's going to be the sacral area. And that's going to be just above the tailbone. And then it wraps around to the front and then just pretty much encapsulates the whole area. That's the lower dantian. So that's pretty much the baby making area, or area where you carry your genes or reproduce genes. And it's a huge high energy area if you really think about it. You don't really know. There's no nerves that are telling you that's a high energy area really, but it is. There's so much going on right there. So there's so much going on right there. We need to keep that area healthy. And if you look at the musculoskeletal system, you do have the cauda equina, and you have bundles of nerves right there. So it kind of fans out, right? It fans out into a cool little shape, and then it goes into the different parts of the lower body, and it stimulates all of the feet, which the feet are very important, feet, ankles, toes, to keep really loose and flexible. So you can have less knee pain and hip pain and also low back pain. Having inflexible feet, toes causes low back pain. And so then it's a feedback loop, right? It goes back to that area, then goes to the head. And then it hits that central part, and then it just keeps going and going and going. If that area is not loose, if it's all tightened up, you're essentially compromising your whole entire system. So we'll start there. So yes, you can foam roll your low back, no matter what anybody says. So you can foam roll your low back, and you can stretch your low back. So how can you stretch your low back? So when you're sitting at your desk, you can do a sit and reach at your desk. You take a deep breath in, hold your arms out like you're flying, palms out, facing, anything in front of you. So palms are going to be facing forward. Your hands are going to be pointed to the left and the right, and then you're going to take a deep breath in. They're going to slightly cock back. And then again, as you breathe out, you're going to reach down for your toes as you're sitting at your desk. And then you're just going to really bring yourself forward and down to kind of feel the low back stretch. Okay. Now, you can stand up and do the same thing, or you can sit on the ground and do the same thing. It doesn't matter. Just as long as you're getting a stretch and you feel it in the low back, in the upper back, and anywhere that feels like it's really tight. And so then when you do that, you hold the stretch for about like a minute, okay? I like to hold it for just as long as I can, and you breathe through it. Keep breathing really consistently, real easy, but it's going to feel amazing. So that's how to loosen up the low back, okay? And you have those even breaths. So the breaths are going to be 5 seconds, breath in, and breathe out over 5 seconds, okay? If you can't do quite 5 seconds, do any less than 3 seconds. So really try to take a deep breath in. And keep that breath going. I can do it longer, but in Qigong, they could actually hold these breathing patterns. For a minute. They could breathe in over a minute, breathe out for over. It's insane. Some of them live until they're 150 years old, even some of them longer. So there's a lot to be said about deep breathing, stretching, and keeping that lower dantian, that lower part of the lumbosacral or the sacrum healthy. So you want to keep that area healthy, stimulated, and go ahead and foam roll that area, compress that area, or just put the foam roller under that sacral area, and then just kind of breathe in, breathe out, and just relax into it, kind of melt into the roller. So a little bit more about the lower dantian. It's funny, they say Bruce Lee often talked about the lower dantian as being a crucial aspect to martial arts training. And the tradition has really gone on through the years and still focused on the low dantian. So people like Bruce Lee and others have noticed that keeping that area healthy, focusing on it, you can really, excel in whatever you're doing, and you can just feel the relaxation from keeping that area healthy. And it's just as simple as it sounds. You just have to create the daily habit of focusing on that tailbone, the sacral tailbone. So whenever you're training, whenever you're at the gym, whenever you're sitting somewhere, if you feel like that area is compromised, definitely bring a pad, something to compress against it. Bring the roller to work. Do whatever it takes to keep that area loose and keep that area really stretched out, elastic. Okay, you don't want it to be tight. You don't want to be stiff. You want to be able to relax that area any time of the day, anytime you want. It feels amazing. I used to be just as tight as you were, or it definitely, there's a huge difference in my mind-body connection and energy as well. So some other ideas that are keeping us really stiff, tight, and keeping that pain around, it has to be considered the human emotions, okay? And these are in Qigong practices, and it's the 7 human emotions, which happiness, anger, sorrow, joy, love, hate, and lust. And how do you get those? I mean, you get them through the eyes, the ears, nose, tongue, body, exchange of energy, and mind. So the mind is a huge one. I'm not going to go far into that one. But the thing is that we're constantly watching things. We're constantly focusing on maybe the wrong things, lusting after things, jealousy, and the list goes on and on. Sadness, sorrow because we don't have this or that, or somebody's healthier or we're not as healthy as we could be. There's just a lot of this blame, this sadness, this disregard for really, I'd say positive thinking, but I would say a disregard for the pursuit of just a healthier mind-body connection. So what that means is that we need to start focusing on what really matters and decide what is real versus imaginary in the mind. So you want to make sure to control your mind and your thoughts so your thoughts don't get away from you. So then, because thoughts can lead to more pain, bad thoughts can lead to more back pain, stress can lead to more back pain, neck pain, stiffness, and just an inability to want to move. So we want to move, we want to be able to be flexible, so it reduces the chance of energy, so we don't have to go and seek those doctors and all those painkillers that they're going to be giving us, and NSAIDs and just all the craziness. And then finally, the suggestion for surgery is the end goal, right? So that's the idea. That's what the cool thing about focusing on the flexibility, foam rolling, qigong, and just general body energy wellness. That's what it's all about. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. It seems like a lot of people are starting to understand this, but it's a daily practice. It really is. You have to practice it every single day. I mean, I focus it on a lot because, that's what, I excel in. However, I'm just teaching you, what I've learned and how I continue to learn as well to keep my body healthy, keep my body flexible, and it can also work for you, okay? So focus on these few things, all right? First, we got to focus on the mind-body connection. We got to rid our body of these negative thoughts that are slowing us down. And then we got to clear our mind. We got to take a deep breath in over 5 seconds, breathe out for over 5 seconds, reach for those toes, hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and again, breathe in, breathe out, and then you're going to increase that time. Increase it to 20 seconds, increase it to 30 seconds, and maybe hold it for a minute and see where that goes. See if you feel more relaxed and loosened up. And then just go ahead and go about your day. When you feel tight, do it again. Stretch and just, keep your body, feeling nice and loose, because any movement you do, odd movement, whatever, you can tighten up easily. It happens to me all the time. So I then have to go down, foam roll, compress. It happened to me today. So there's a little spot in my back that keeps flaring up, and I just don't let it get me down. All I do is I go find my foam roller, lacrosse ball, whatever, and my half foam roller, and I compress that area, massage it out, take that deep breath in, breathe out, and then just try to clear my mind. So then my muscles, fascia, all that can relax. So, well, thanks for joining me for this talk. Covered a few things about how the FDA is approving just an insane amount of narcotics, keeping everybody addicted. That's why I'm a big fan of legalization of cannabis for medical use. And I think that it's coming. So, they're giving us so many reasons why. It's like they're pushing us towards that. So let's hope cannabis is going to be, in the near future, approved nationwide for prescription. So everybody can get that instead of these ridiculous narcotics that, synthetic fentanyl, come on. So, and then they give you that stuff after the surgery too. So whether you get a surgery and then you get the narcotics. So so you just, it's a lose. It's so many, I mean, I don't know. There's so many side effects, and it really doesn't help. So anyway, so thanks for joining me. Definitely take the tips about the focus on the lower dantian, focus on the tailbone, focus on daily stretching, compression of that area. Try to relax, rid yourself of the negative side of your mind. And you do that by just dropping all thoughts. You just kind of just blink. Whoop, you just let it just drop out. Okay. All right. So I will hopefully hear from you. Any questions? Mark at stretchtherapydallas.com or info@atlasfoamroller.com. And again, any questions you got, I will cover in a talk, and hopefully I will hear from you. So y'all have a wonderful week. Please hit subscribe, share all the stuff out, and keep me in mind all the time, and keep coming back for all this really good knowledge, and I will continue to learn, and I'll continue to share. So thanks again. Hit subscribe, share this if you liked it, and I will see you in the next video.